Is when an audience is actively disengaged, whether it's a live audience or a communication audience, an internal employee audience, or customers, it doesn't matter. If they are actively disengaged, you have a real battle ahead of you for trying to achieve engagement. I'm Ben Morsom, and this is Engagement Decoded, where I share insights and tips on how to better, more effectively navigate engagement with audiences so you can stop guessing and fight for the attention of those you want to connect with. Through our research, we discovered that there are actually 4 levels of engagement, which is really fascinating because once you can understand these levels of engagement and how you can categorize these different levels, you begin to see where your audience actually is. And now this gives you the power to actually move your audience up to the highest levels of engagement. So the 4 levels of engagement are this. The lowest, or I should say the worst level of engagement is what we call adverse engagement. Adverse engagement is when an audience is actively disengaged. Whether it's a live audience or a communication audience, an internal employee audience, or customers, it doesn't matter. If they are actively disengaged, you have a real battle ahead of you for trying to achieve engagement. Now, you'll recognize the symptoms of adverse engagement: being actively tuning out, not opening an email, for example, if there's a communication. An audience will be seemingly disgruntled or off-tasking or doing something completely unrelated to the event at hand, even getting up and walking out of a space. That's adverse engagement. The second to worst is what we call selective engagement, and selective engagement is probably the most common. Even though it is the second to worst, it is the most common and one that you can actually easily move your audience up from. Why is it selective engagement? It's because an audience will pay attention to what interests them in the moment and then go back to doing something else, checking their emails, talking to a colleague next to them, or going in and out of a conference room at their leisure, or deciding to open an email because it maybe is of interest to them at that time and ignore other correspondence, for example, or to engage in content online because, again, it is something that may be relating to them in that moment, but might not actually lead to any downstream behavior changes. That's selective engagement. The next level up from that, which I actually find the most fascinating, and where we actually see some of our customers that have extremely, seemingly engaging events taking place, this level is called deceptive engagement. Why is it deceptive? Because on the surface, it'll have all the trademarks or hallmarks of a really engaging experience. Your audience will be seemingly hyper engaged. They'd be applauding, they'd be looking like they're paying attention, or they may even be paying attention in those moments. They might be tweeting positive tweets and all these indicators of a great experience. They may be engaging with content online and getting all these click-through rates that you're seeing in your online communities, etc. However, you're not seeing any downstream behavior change. The reason why we call it deceptive engagement is because you can actually buy it. You can actually pay for that engagement. And what I mean by that is you can actually hire a great speaker. You can hire A-level entertainment, for example, and an audience will pay attention. They will be engaged. They will enjoy that, but it's not for the right reasons. It's because they maybe have a personal interest in that or the celebrityism of that experience, so they will be engaged. And again, deceptive because it doesn't then lead to more sales or more onboarding or more adoption of the things that your organization actually needs adoption from. And deceptive engagement, therefore is costly. And it can also be costly not just from a cost standpoint because you can pay for it, but also to your audience because in the end you could still be creating cognitive fatigue or things that might be disrupting their ability to engage with your organization after the fact. That's deceptive engagement. The highest level of engagement, and really the only level worth striving for, is what we call affecting engagement. Why is it affecting and not effective? It's because it has lasting downstream behavior change. So it will have all those indications or indicators, I should say, of a highly engaged audience from an event or through a community or a communication, and you're going to get the behavior change that you've invested in. You are having that effect on your audience that is positive and leading to positive behavior change. Thanks for joining me for another episode of Engagement Decoded. Do you want to learn more? Hit that subscribe button below and never miss an episode to learn how to increase engagement with your audience. I'm Ben Morsum, and thank you for watching.